It was a quiet morning in the small village of São Miguel. The sun was rising on the horizon, lighting up the cobblestone streets and the neatly aligned houses. Everything seemed in perfect harmony, as always. But on that morning, something different was about to happen. In the center of the village, the old church, with its ivy-covered walls and bell that rang religiously every day, received a new ornament. A statue carved from marble had been anonymously donated and was now positioned on the main altar. The figure depicted an angel with a serene expression, hands joined in prayer and wings gently spread, as if protecting the place. Curious villagers began to gather to see the new addition. No one knew exactly where the statue had come from, but everyone agreed it was a beautiful addition to the church. However, not everyone was so enchanted. A dog named Rex, who always roamed around the square, began to act strangely. Rex was the typical dog everyone loved, gentle, playful, always eager for affection. But that day, as he approached the church and saw the statue, Rex stopped abruptly. "You're going to be surprised by what this dog discovered. Please leave your like and subscribe to our channel. I'm always bringing you the best stories firsthand." Rex, with his fur bristling and eyes fixed on the statue, began to growl softly, as if something about that marble angel deeply disturbed him. Some villagers laughed, thinking it was just a curious reaction, but soon Rex's behavior changed. He started barking, a strong and continuous bark that echoed through the church walls. The few worshippers in the church exchanged confused and worried glances. What could have caused such a reaction in the dog? Father José, who was preparing the altar for the Mass, also noticed the commotion and went out to see what was happening. Seeing Rex barking relentlessly at the statue, he frowned, feeling a chill run down his spine. Something was different that morning, something that would forever change the peace of São Miguel. Rex's barking didn't stop, and soon a small crowd gathered in front of the church. People whispered among themselves, not understanding what was happening. Father José tried to calm Rex, but the dog remained fixed on the statue, as if he saw something that no one else could see. "This is a bad omen," murmured Donna Helena, the oldest woman in the village, as she made the sign of the cross. Other villagers began to feel uneasy, a sense of discomfort hanging in the air. Some suggested that the statue be removed, while others thought it was just an overreaction. But something inside Father José told him it wasn't that simple. He watched Rex, whose barks echoed in everyone's minds like a warning. Determined to understand what was happening, the priest asked everyone to calm down and return to their homes. He promised to investigate the matter and bring answers the next day. As the people dispersed, Rex finally stopped barking, but continued to stand guard in front of the statue, as if he were protecting the village from something invisible. That night, Father José couldn't sleep. Rex's behavior and the strange feeling he had when looking at the statue lingered in his mind. He decided he needed to investigate further. With a lantern in hand, he returned to the church, where Rex was still lying next to the statue, but with his eyes alert. The silence of the night was almost absolute, interrupted only by the priest's footsteps echoing on the stone floor. He approached the statue, feeling a chill run down his spine. With trembling hands, he shone the lantern over the marble surface, searching for anything out of the ordinary. Then, he noticed something strange at the base of the statue. A small, almost imperceptible crack. Carefully, Father José used a tool to try to open the crack a bit more. To his surprise, the base of the statue shifted slightly, revealing a hidden cavity. Inside it, he found a small wooden chest, old and worn. Upon opening it, he was met with ancient documents and a crucifix wrapped in a cloth. Father José carefully held the crucifix, feeling the weight of history in his hands. The object seemed very old, and just touching it made the priest's heart beat faster. He then turned his attention to the documents inside the chest. They were aged manuscripts with writing that was difficult to decipher, but he could make out enough to realize they were accounts from a priest who had served in that same church many years ago. As he read the documents, Father José discovered that the marble statue had been brought to the village under mysterious circumstances. The manuscript mentioned strange events that occurred at the time, things that no one could explain. There were also references to exorcism rituals and the presence of an evil force that seemed to be connected to the statue. A chill ran down the priest's spine as he realized that the same signs were reappearing now, and that Rex seemed to be the only one aware of the approaching threat. Fear mixed with a determination to protect his community. He knew he needed to act, but first, he decided to share his findings with the most influential villagers. The next morning, Father José called a meeting at the church. Only a few trusted villagers were invited: Donna Helena, Mr. Anselmo, a respected farmer, and Clara, the village teacher. They all arrived with worried expressions, eager to learn what the priest had discovered. Rex, as always, was near the statue, keeping a close watch. Once everyone was seated, Father José showed the chest and the documents he had found. The priest's words echoed through the church as he spoke about the events described in the manuscripts and the possible connection to the statue. "That explains Rex's behavior," Clara said, her eyes wide. "He can sense something we can't." "We need to investigate further," Mr. Anselmo suggested, crossing his arms. "But we have to be careful. We don't want to alarm the rest of the village." Donna Helena, always cautious, suggested they bring in a specialist to examine the statue and the documents. Father José agreed, but he knew they couldn't wait too long. Something dark was stirring, and time was of the essence. The meeting ended with everyone aware that a shadow loomed over the village. Rex, with his vigilant eyes, seemed to be waiting for the next step in this discovery. With the decision made, Father José contacted an expert in sacred art who lived in a nearby town. The man, named Dr. Moreira, arrived in the village 2 days later, bringing tools and ancient books with him. Upon being introduced to the situation, he appeared both concerned and intrigued, especially after seeing the crack in the statue and the documents found. While Dr. Moreira carefully examined the statue, Rex remained vigilant, as if he knew something important was about to be revealed. The expert spent hours analyzing every detail, comparing the information in the manuscripts with what he saw before him. Finally, Dr. Moreira found something that confirmed Father José's fears. He discovered that the crucifix found inside the chest was, in fact, an object used in ancient rituals to seal away evil entities. And the marble statue, contrary to what everyone believed, was not just a simple religious representation, but a seal that kept this force imprisoned. "Father," Dr. Moreira said with a grave expression, "the seal is weakening. If we don't do something quickly, this entity could break free and cause great harm." The specialist's words fell like a bomb, leaving everyone in silence. The fate of the village now depended on their next actions. With the seriousness of the situation clear, Father José, Dr. Moreira, and the gathered villagers decided to act immediately. Dr. Moreira explained that they would need to perform a protection ritual to strengthen the statue's seal before it was too late. This ritual, however, required great concentration, faith, and the participation of the community. Father José called a meeting at the church, but this time all the villagers were summoned. They were instructed to bring candles and rosaries and to prepare for a night of intense prayers. Although many were scared, their trust in Father José and the urgency of the situation motivated them to attend. That night, the church was packed. Lit candles illuminated the worried faces of the villagers as Father José stood at the altar, explaining what was about to happen. Rex, as always, was beside the statue, attentive to every movement. The ritual began with prayers in unison, asking for divine protection. Dr. Moreira placed the crucifix on the statue and began reciting ancient words, nearly forgotten over time. As the words echoed, a strong wind began to blow outside, as if something were resisting. The villagers, holding hands, continued their prayers, even as fear tried to take hold. The faith of everyone was key to the ritual's success, and they knew it. With one final word from Dr. Moreira, the wind ceased abruptly. A heavy silence filled the church, followed by a sense of peace that slowly began to fill the atmosphere. The seal was reinforced, but the danger was not entirely gone. After the ritual, the village of Santa Cruz was immersed in a strange, almost reverent silence. The villagers, still shaken by the intensity of the previous night, returned to their homes with renewed hope, but also a sense of uncertainty about the future. In the following days, the village seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. The signs of bad luck that had appeared before the ritual began to fade. The crops started to thrive again, and the animals that had fallen ill began to recover. However, the mystery surrounding the marble statue continued to linger in everyone's minds. Father José, with Dr. Moreira's help, decided to document everything that had happened so that future generations would know about the events that had nearly destroyed the peace of Santa Cruz. The priest knew that although the seal had been reinforced, there was still much to discover about the origin of that entity and about who had placed the statue there centuries ago. Rex, the loyal dog who had alerted everyone to the danger, became an even more beloved figure in the village. The villagers now saw him as a true guardian, and he was treated with affection and respect by all. Over time, the story of the ritual and the statue became a legend in Santa Cruz. The tale was passed down from generation to generation as a reminder of the strength of faith and the importance of remaining vigilant against evil, even in the most sacred places. And so the village moved forward, more united than ever, with Rex still by Father José's side, both guarding the church and its mysterious marble statue. Peace had returned, but the echo of those tense days was never completely forgotten, remaining as a subtle shadow, always present.